I'm with Gary Jenkins, former detective in the Kansas City Police Department Intelligence Unit. Gary, you were a part of the team that helped, over time, expose the connection between Kansas City and Las Vegas and the Skim money going back from Las Vegas to the Kansas City mob. Tell us a little bit about the Villa Capri, the restaurant where one of the original surveillance tapes sort of uncovered all that.
Sure, Larry. That's a great story. The Villa Capri was a small neighborhood bar and restaurant, mainly sold pizza. It was real well known and by the mob guys because the guy that owned it and ran it had grown up with all the rest of them. He was not really a made guy, but he was a well-trusted guy. So they had this table. It was actually a banquette in the back with a bench and some chairs around this one table that they always sat at. Nobody else ever sat at that table. Well, we knew from surveillances that Nick Savella and Carl Savelli's brother and Tuffy DeLuna and Joe Ragusa and Charlie Martinez, some of all the main guys in the mob in Kansas City, when they came in, they always sat at that table. The FBI got an informant who said that he had had conversations about a murder that they wanted him to do at that table. The FBI, Bill Owsley, the case agent, got a affidavit, filled out an affidavit and got a permission from the court to install a microphone at that table. One night we surround the place about 4 o'clock in the morning and the black bag crew, if you will, break into the front door, pick the lock and go in and install this microphone. Well, over the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's really hard to hear over the jukebox, as Bill Owsley would say. All he heard at first was Staying Alive, which was real popular at the time. But finally one night, I think it was June the 6th, God, I can't remember the year, in the 70s. June the 6th, he overheard him say something about Las Vegas. They talked about Lefty. They talked about $1 million nut at the end of each month. Carl Savella was talking with him, and he said, well, are we in on that with them? And Tuffy said, well, he said, yeah, we are. And all of a sudden he said, well, I need to talk to him about that. I need to go find a phone. And that was it. That was the turning point. We were actually investigating a murder in Kansas City and a future murder plot, and a murder that had already happened, 2 or 3 of them that had already happened, when they installed that microphone. But what they heard was nothing about any murder plots, but they did hear about money, large sums of money, Las Vegas. Heard the word Teamsters mentioned several times. And it just took one call out to Las Vegas to find out that the Lefty they were talking about was Lefty Rosenthal, who was if you've ever seen the movie Casino, the Robert De Niro character. They talked about the head of the Gaming Commission and called him Clean Face, Harry Reid. They talked about a guy named Jay Brown. He was the lawyer for the Stardust. They talked about a guy named Genius, who they found out was the nickname of Alan Glick, who had gotten a $62 million loan from the Teamsters. And from that, it spun off to other wiretaps, and which ended up leading the FBI. And we helped quite a little bit, the Kansas City Police. You can only do so much. We were more in a support role, shall we say, doing surveillances and things for the FBI. And ended up taking down the heads of the mob in Chicago, Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Kansas City.
Thank you very much, Gary Jenkins.